Good morning, y'all. I'm back online with our most fun Q&A. You get to ask all those questions that you always wanted to ask a llama and never got the chance. The weird ones. I will not get to all of them. I will get to many of them today. Let's see how it goes. You can begin typing them in, or if you wish, do this with me. Chuku kutuzumpo gomboyi Dorji sempa garab dorji dang Shere singe bardo shin labde Dedam abzan tata tusum chi Zogchen jupe lamala solo Deb Ergen pema junela solo Deb Dorji Chang Chichalo Narudang Marpa Mila Gompo Tatapa Na Pupadang Palden Drupa Suk Kargulama Namla Solua Deb Ochen Lama Namla Solua Deb Druchen Lama Namla Solua Deb Kaginwari Lama Namla Solua Deb Shakya Lama Namla Solua Deb Nyandu Dang Yundrin Lama Namla Solua Deb Palkon Dushang Dang Yerme Pa Gun Garab Dorji Jin Trag Pa Jeti Dang Nisume Pai Palamanam Che Tente Chong. Okay, Nyanda, what have we got?
There we go. I'm unmuted. We have a number of questions, one of which is how to reconnect with a cat who passed away through euthanasia, vet recommended, and if one deeply regrets that choice. Can I ever know what she experienced at death and where she has taken rebirth?
Not for sure. However, you can do practices for her. Amitabha, Opame, offering of light. Now, when you make a karmic practice for someone, such as the offering light, there are three aspects. Your intention, may the benefit of this practice go to all sentient beings, especially so-and-so by name. The actual action, the offering of the light. Do not necessarily offer a live candle if you live in a wooden house. Not unless you will be home until it burns all the way down and out. Use electric votives and don't turn them off until the battery has exhausted itself, or use small votives at a time, regular votives, lit live fire, at a time when you will be home and awake. It is obvious reasons why you don't use live fire and leave it unattended in a wooden house. Now, in our caves, which are made of stone, that's different. But most Western houses are made of wood. Therefore, then there is the object to which you offer the light. You offer it to a symbol of all Buddhas of the four times. As such, the more powerful the symbol, the more powerful the karma. For instance, if you go on pilgrimage and you get to very powerful nays, holy places, and you offer there to say, oh, the lake in Solpema, or Guru Rinpoche's cave up on the mountain there, or the great stupa in Bodh Gaya, or even your local temple of Buddha Dharma, even if it doesn't matter if it's Thai or Southern school or Northern school or your lineage or not your lineage, offering lights there is generally more powerful than offering them on your home altar, unless you really know how to put a charge in your home altar. So I suggest that. You will never know for sure the outcome, but you can improve the outcome, whatever it shall be. For your own feelings of regret and the interactive karma between you and she, I recommend Vajrasattva. Next question.
Okay, one moment here. I just need to, there we go. What are some ways to get better at saying no as a prerequisite to welcoming experiences with spirits or other beings?
Well, the same way you get better at everything. Practice. Say no a lot. Cellular data is turned off.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I don't know what's going on for lyrics.
Good at saying no to the encyclopedia salesmen and Christian proselytizers that come to the door. Until they find that easy to do. So the answer to get better at anything, whether it's your Dharma practice or simply saying no, is to practice doing so. Practice within your family. Are you doing, I'm going to bet you're female, because there are females are acculturated in the West not to say no. And I'm going to bet that you do more than 50% of the housework and hold down a job as well if you're in a relationship. There's a good place to practice. This includes the mental level. So practice saying no to your family. Next question.
One moment. I had it in front of me. How does one work with addictions, particularly non-chemical ones like social media?
Well, the Tibetan way is to simply take a vow against it. Go before the most powerful object you can find, say your teacher, or a statue of the Buddha, or a statue of your Yidam, and promise not to do it at all whatsoever for 1 month, or 1 week, or 1 day, whatever you think you can accomplish. Then you know that great unfortunate complications will arise in your life if you break that vow. So putting a vow on it and setting an amount of time that you think is possible is a good way to work with non-chemical addictions. Tibetans use it for chemical addictions too. It works about as well as any method. 12-step isn't perfect either. Next question.
my perceptions have become very acute. I hear all vibrations, sounds, and feel the presence of people very intensely. Why is this happening, and is there anything I can do about it?
It might be your particular neural eccentricity and the way your wiring is set up. Generally, if you are oversensitive to something, exposure to it will decrease your sensitivity. So, for instance, if you're oversensitive to sounds, go bring your favorite book, a book you're reading, go to a noisy place like a restaurant that's facing or a tea shop that's facing a construction project. Those are pretty noisy, where they're doing jackhammering on the street. And read there, sit there with your coffee or your tea and stay reading your book for as long as you can. Leave when you have to. The more you expose yourself to the thing you're oversensitive to, that will push it back some. It will get worse if you run from it and work hard to make it not be part of your environment. So don't run away. Run towards the thing that bothers you, the monster that's going to eat you. You'd be surprised how many monsters get a horrified look on their face and run away really quick. I once chased. I was stark naked at the time. I was sunbathing in a secluded cove. And a bus of Indian male tourists in their black pants, pointy shoes, and white shirts managed to find me. This was obviously not going to go well if I didn't do something about it quickly. So I grabbed the belt from my pants, stood up, hollered at them, and started swinging it around my head and chasing them. They ran, all 20 of them, down the beach. I chased them about a mile. One guy turned around to try and face me, and I hit him with it, and then he fell down and scrambled up and kept running. I chased them about a mile down the beach, public beach. Then I had to walk back to my clothes, stark naked. However, I did get a standing ovation. Generally, that which is perceived as dangerous or bothersome runs away when you move towards it. It's only when you keep running away that it will then chase you. Yeah, I did that with a bear once too. Walking in the Himalayas, came around a bend. There's this really narrow cliffside path. I come around a bend one way, bear comes around a bend the other way. That's the one time I learned this. The bear looks at me with horror. I look at the bear with horror. The bear runs first. Choo, back the other way. I think I took a step forward, and the next thing I know, the bear has taken off. Now, I'm told this doesn't work with grizzlies. That was not a grizzly. That was a little Himalayan brown bear. It also works with muggers. You do like this if someone is going to attack you to rob you. You go towards them. Virtually every criminal knows that you never fuck with somebody crazier than you are. You can walk through the worst neighborhood ever if you just pick up pieces of garbage and talk to them continuously. Never fuck with anybody crazier than you are. Well known in the underworld. Mistake I've made once or twice. So if what's coming at you is crazier than you are, this doesn't work. Fortunately, there are not many of those, at least in my life. Next question.
Wait, back to me. Could you talk about the accumulation of merit?
Yes, I loathe the phrase accumulation of merit. Can I get some more bubbly water? Because it sounds like you're going to gather it and put it in your pocket and stick it in a bank somewhere. Merit doesn't work like that. I loathe the word merit. Sonam. I much prefer gewa. Gewa is anything which causes openness, relaxation, and happiness that you do to or for another. Much better word. Don't accumulate merit. Bad idea. You see, one moment of bad temperedness, even an itty bitty one, when you've got a stack of merit in your pocket, will destroy that merit. All gone. A waste. And you know you're going to lose your temper at some point, even if just a little bit inside. Single moment of frustrated anger. You got a partner? You will experience this. Whether related to toothpaste tube tops or who did the dishes, you will experience this. So do not accumulate merit. Generate merit. Create gewa and add it to the universal gewa of the universe. There are enough out there, especially in governments, which tend to be centers of digpa. Not all. FDR was pretty good. No, it's Roosevelt back in the day. There's some decent ones over in Europe. Iceland's pretty good. Doing well. Decent government. Amsterdam, it's pragmatic. Okay, good enough. They try. France is crazy. So's Germany. So's Russia and the US. The bigwigs tend to get too big for their britches and go nuts. So there's a lot of digpa being generated. You got to offset that. So create as much merit as you can and put it in the big pot, the universal pot. If you have a drop of water in your hand and you go in the sun, it will dry up quickly. But if you throw that drop of water into the ocean, for as long as the ocean flows, that drop will be among it and never dry up. So don't accumulate merit, generate it. Offer it, give it away, share it, and it will multiply 1,000-fold. Next question. That teaching was from Lama Yeshi. Way back when. Do not hoard merit.
Okay, I couldn't find the one I was looking for. Can you talk a bit about time travel in dream time and whether it can help relax the tension created by the perception of time while being awake?
Time isn't real. Look, Hours, minutes, seconds did not exist before there were clocks. There were songs that timed the baking of a pie. The length of time it took to sing this song properly was how long the pie baked. Or maybe it was a 3-song pie, a casserole. There were no hours and minutes. Yes, the earth turns with the sun shining on it, and it circles around. But have you not noticed that some days move faster through time and others slower? Remember how long a summer was when you were 5 and 6? I assure you, once you hit your 70s, they're really fast. You move through time not at a steady rate. The 5 minutes between 5 minutes to 5 and 5 o'clock in certain jobs last several hours. Time is an illusion. It is mind-made. Tawa does not exist within time, great Mother Ocean of Dharmakaya, the Svabhavakaya. Time is mind-made within that. Once you know that, deep knowing, not just think it, know it beyond a shadow of doubt, you are no longer trapped. You'll still experience time in day-to-day life, of course. But if you get a long hour, enjoy it. If you get some short hours, oh well, because hours aren't real. Nor do we move through time at a steady rate. So learn this, come to know this. First, think about this. How time was invented. How time is experienced by an oak tree. How time is experienced by a mayfly. Feel about it. Shake yourself loose from it. I had a year once. I'd gone into retreat. And I had to come out and renew my visa in the middle of retreat. I was doing Nundro Mandala, I think. And I had a whole year between leaving my cave to renew my visa and getting back to my cave. At least when I figure out how many years I did this and how old I was and when I am, there's this extra year in the commutations, or rather there's a year that doesn't fit anywhere. I found the mandala practice as part of Nundro excellent for the purpose of shaking one loose from the time-space continuum. If you really, really do it. First time I did it, pish tosh. But that was the first Nundro that didn't work, according to my teacher. The second Nundro worked fine, and that was the one. I think I would stick that year into no time, but somehow horseshoed into that mandala retreat. But boy, I sure did a year's worth of stuff there. In places I have never been able to find again or on a map. Who knows? One's experience does not always dovetail perfectly with everyone else's reality. And that's okay. And what has to dovetail with the common reality is like crossing streets and doing mechanical things, attaching things to wall. That has to dovetail with a common reality. But your life does not. As long as you bring yourself back to the shared reality, if everybody thinks there's a truck there and you think there isn't, it's likely to run you over. Remember when I talk about dream yoga and I say respect the integrity of the dream? This is what I'm talking about in the dream of life. You all know, if you're Dzogchenpa, from the texts, from the teachings, that all phenomena arises in mind, and there is no phenomena that does not arise in mind. So the trick to stepping outside of time and space to, say, catch a Wong across time and space, or see a teacher long dead in the dream time, is simply to release your belief system in the time-space continuum without abandoning common sense. This is the dynamic balance of no reality. Next question.
Okay. My practice has more dullness after years of noticing spaciousness. Is this normal? My main practice is body Rushin, and I'm healing from complex PTSD.
You talking about the 6 lokas as body Rushen? Or are you talking about outer body Rushen, which should not be a main practice? Dullness should not be there. It should not be duller. It should be more ordinary as your familiarity increases and you relax into it, but not duller. You're probably missing the alive vitality of it. In which case, go do the Chenrezig sadhana for a while. That will bring you back to the lucid luminosity, which is the innate vitality of all sentient beings, which is the vitality of all Buddhas of the 4th time. That should light up your practice some. It's not uncommon when we go in to, as Westerners, to Dzogchen practice, to pay a great deal of lip service and thought to Bodhicitta, but not enough feeling, or we confuse it with pity or kindness, and we miss the innate vitality of it. You see, Bodhicitta is the only energy that will overcome the survival reflex. How do we know that? Watch a teenager hobbling about on 6-inch heels on cobblestones. You know they're going to break something to attract the boys. Or driving way too fast, or diving from way too high to attract the girls. In fact, if you read the Darwin Awards, you'll often find teenagers have won them, or young men. There's a reason for this. The same reason the praying mantis male, who knows perfectly well that she will bite his head off and eat it. At the end of copulation, he does it anyway. That urge to merge, which is sexual energy, which is the energy of love. That vitality is bodhicitta, and that needs to be as much a part of your practice as shunyata. The yab-yum symbolism is the dynamic balance of yin and yang. Next question.
The one we've been talking about this week has come up. Let me find it. Greed, hatred, and delusion are surging forth in the world. Should we fight for bodhicitta? Renounce the world? Both? Neither? What? Which is it?
If you can, join the resistance. If you can't find it, too timid, for whatever reason, your kids are tiny and you can't risk it, then duck. Each one of you, it's going to be a different answer. During World War II, back in France and Germany, some people went along to get along. Some people joined the resistance. I'm not going to make that choice for you. But in your personal life, generate gewa and give it forth to seek a balance. Make your own choices here. You may choose to go off into the rest of your life as retreat and work on balancing out the gewa. You may choose to work in a soup kitchen, practicing bodhicitta, doing things, acts of kindness. You may choose to arm yourself. I'm not telling you what to do. Personal choice. But do not make it worse by thinking, well, if he's going to grab everything for him, I better grab my share real quick. You know that Christian saying, the good Lord gave you two strong hands to grab all you can with? Don't do that. Share. Look after each other. Act with kindness. Only history will tell us if, who's the guy who shot the United CEO? What's his name?
Luigi Mangione.
If Luigi Mangione was a villain or a hero. Wait 50 years and then find out. Or maybe 100. I do not think I have the wisdom here to tell you what to do. But I will tell you what not to do. Don't grab. Don't take part in the hate. Don't pass it on. Perform acts of kindness when possible. That much I will tell you. And deciding what's an act of kindness and open-heartedness and greatness in each moment, that will be your choice who is living the moment, not mine for you. Next question.
How do I know which Nundro to take? There are many Nundros from different cycles that are offered through different programs. How do I decide?
Go look at them all and see which one looks pretty to you. Which one do you like? You see, it doesn't matter. They all work just fine. They all work the same way. Oh, some of it does refuge along with prostration. Some does refuge later. Some does Guru Yoga with prostration. Some has it set separate as a last one. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference in order and how it works, but they all do the same thing. Pick the one you think is pretty. Do that one. Read the different sadhanas. Read through which one attracts you. I particularly like Vajrasattva Yab Yum. I like in the long Nintik all the Alikalis. I think they're important. I gave people a short Nintik, but I added those back in because the long Nintik is really long. I have recitations that are not as effective on Westerners as feelizations are. I mean, they're effective, but they're slow. Unless you know how to feelize it with it. When you recite a long prayer in Tibetan, let your eyes, slow it down so your eyes can read the English underneath. And feel the meaning there. So try that with a few of the prayers in the different nundros and see which one feels good. You see, what's important about a practice is that you like it. If you don't like it, you won't do it well. If you don't do it well, it won't work. So go find one you like. Next question.
Can you explain some beginning steps and their sequence for Dzogchen meditation? I feel confused about steps and their order.
So the first step is one of intellectual understanding. You must come to understand what it means to be fully human. What impermanence really is. What is impermanent and what isn't. You have to understand these on a really deep level. You need to understand what is it about samsara that hurts. Why does it hurt? And you need to understand how karma works. Without these understandings, these are like a foundation on which a house is built. If you've got no foundation, your house is going to sink in the mud next time the rains get heavy. You need a stable foundation to build high. The next part is to receive the four wongs. The pointing out. Real Dzogchen meditation there's nothing much to be said about it except poetry. And you don't have to do anything for it to be there. But for a beginner, as you requested, steps. The body, in proper alignment. So remember, your feet are flat on the floor. Your calves are perpendicular. Your thighs are parallel to the floor. You're not sitting back on your tailbone. You're kind of forward on your ass. But don't make lordosis. Straighten your spine, tuck your in, bring your head back, make a nice double chin. Your elbows are out, roundedly and relaxedly. You should be able to fit an egg in your armpit. Your hands are flat on your thighs, or you're in a half lotus, and your hands are like the left one down and the right one above, and your thumbs just relaxed. And they're brought into your body at the dantian, which is 4 fingers below the navel. Your shoulders are back. Your mouth is slightly open. Your tongue is lying naturally on the roof of your mouth. Most of the air passes through your nose, but maybe 20% passes through your mouth. You focus your eyes straight ahead on a point 2 meters in front of the end of your nose, straight ahead. And then you let go of the point. You allow the focus of your eyeballs to relax. So there is no difference between peripheral and central vision. This is not, you would not be able to read a letter or something like this. The physical position is important. Now for the speech position, the teachings are very simple. Shut up. Stop talking to yourself. Stop subvocalizing your thoughts. Don't try to stop your thoughts from happening, but don't subvocalize them. Shift them into pictures or something. Transcend words. And then the teachings of your mind. Open your attention. Don't point focus it like you do focusing your attention on this or that all day. Open wide your attention. Cease to pay attention to what you are thinking. Let your attention open wide into the infinite sky-like vastness where your thoughts be happening. Not what they are, doesn't matter a diddly squat what they are. Look through your thoughts. Where they be happening. This is the teaching of the mind. Nan, do hand me a crystal clear one. Altar.
Oh, there it is.
Thoughts will happen. Pay them no never mind. Let them occur and let them dissolve as they naturally will. For thoughts themselves, they lack both substance and duration. You can't set a cup down on a thought, well, not without making a mess. Nor does any thought remain. Oh, you can rethink the same thing, but it will be subtly different. In Mahamudra, we do shine with a pebble. That, if done properly, leads you to recognize how, although your attention is on the same pebble all the time, your thoughts about it, when they arise, are always subtly different from each other, and no single one of them, no nam, single thought, molecule of thought, lasts any longer than its arising. The arising and the dissipating is simultaneous. Therefore, they are really no thing at all. And you who have been paying attention to them from beginningless time, they catch you up. They trap you in thises and that's. There is no benefit to pay attention to them most of the time, not unless you are attempting to work out a mathematical formula or follow the instructions on something from IKEA. Then you will need to pay some attention to your thoughts. But let this attention be volitional. You choose, rather than being powerless prey to them. Your thoughts, you see, having neither substance nor duration, are completely transparent. It is only when you believe in them that they can bother you. When you think they're real, that they describe a real reality existing outside of you. Have you not noticed how often you have been mistaken about what you think a thing is? All your experiences, including your traumas, is based on what you think happened. All your feelings are based on what you think is happening. And lots of times you're wrong. So let go. Relax. Don't pay him no never mind. Look at the vast, infinite, indescribable, brilliant, lucidly luminous no thing, which is big mind itself, semni, real mind, dharmakaya nature of mind. And leave those damn thoughts alone. Don't bother them and don't let them bother you. I think I answered that question. Next.
When I go into open awareness, I constantly see a rainbow and tiglis. Is this a nyam to be ignored?
Yes, it's a nyam, because that wasn't happening necessarily when you were a little kid, when you were in first grade. because you weren't going into open awareness, also because you're going in and out of open awareness. However, that particular nyam should not be ignored. It should be noted. It is of the order of a vision. Keep practicing. Eventually, what it is about will be apparent. You'll receive the necessary teachings in this life. Also, get your eyes checked. Sometimes, if you've had a cataract operation, it causes that, if the lens is slightly off center. Otherwise, no, it shouldn't be caused by cataract. So pay it no never mind for now, but don't forget its occurrence. There will come a time. Next question.
You once mentioned having feet facing the shrine from your bed can cause issues with the channels. I can't move my shrine, but do I put up a curtain or some other divider?
Move your bed. Turn it the other way. Don't point your feet at the shrine. It will cause issues. Yeah. How much of this is baby and how much of this is bathwater? In Asia, where the Buddha arose in India, feet are terrible things. Considering what you see in Indian gutters, you will understand this. Everybody walks about in their sand. Feet are nasty. In that thought, Buddha was born Kshetri in the Hindu system. Kshetri are just one below Brahmin. And as such, they must have a Brahmin cook and can't let the shadow of a sweeper who sweeps up things. This is all disease protection before sewers. How much of this comes from that? And how much of this is energetics? My experience is it's at least 50% energetics, probably more. But you've got at least 20% cultural bathwater in there. Move your bed. How can one not move one's shrine? I'm not quite sure I understand. It's a piece of furniture. Unless it's built in like mine. I could have chosen another place rather than the mantle to put my shrine. I just like them on mantles. But it's not in my bedroom. It's in the living room. And the couch, which opens into a bed, does not point to it. It's parallel. It's not in front of it. You'll figure something out. Move your bed. Next question.
How do I work with the desire of a relationship when one cannot find a partner for a long time?
Jerk off? I mean, that would be my answer. Go get a good vibrator and enjoy yourself. Do you mean loneliness? Have friends. Next question. I couldn't figure out any more of an answer to that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Okay. Will an autopsy hurt the spiritual transition to the next life?
Not if it happens more than a day or so later. Look, I've put my bones and my body up as offering medically. Yeah, go ahead and take them when I'm done with them. If I can practice chud, I can certainly offer my body to medical. Even in Tibet, 3 days after the person died, especially in summer, they were taken up the mountain, and then we used to chop them apart so the buzzards had an easier time eating them. And then the buzzards love the brain. So you got to take the top of the skull off and put it out for them. When the buzzards come, they'll eat the whole body. They won't leave until you feed them the brain. That's dessert. This happens usually about 3 days in most cases for ordinary people. Now, occasionally things are done differently for a teacher or someone who manages Tudum, but that's another thing. Rarely are you going to get an autopsy with somebody in Tudum, because if they want an autopsy, probably there's some sign of violence, and you're not going to get into Tudum in violence. You're not going to get into Tudum in a car crash. You have to die kind of slow to manage Tudum. In your bed, or in a quiet place, or in your gum tree. Then then you can do Tudum. And yes, if somebody's in Tudum, doing an autopsy before they are out of Tudum is problematic. If I go in a car crash, yeah, quick, take out any bits that are still good and give them to people. If I go slowly in my bed, well, you can't do that anyway. They're not fast enough to grab the organs before they deteriorate. Then let me give Tudum a try. We'll see how I go. If I get shot in the revolution,
Well,
then that was my karma. Next question.
we have a couple of questions asking about the new house, and do you want to do a room tour or even just flip the camera around to show things?
You can show the altar, which is kind of together.
Mm-hmm.
Although Sada's coming out and he's going to make it bigger so I can get more stuff up there, because I don't have like a picture of Rinpoche and my other teachers up there because there was no room yet. And I just got that together a couple of days ago. But we're not ready for a room tour yet. I'm still unpacking boxes. All you just see is piles of boxes. Sada's going to help fix my altar and put a screen door on in the back, and there's all sorts of little fiddly things that really need somebody with skill. You want to let the camera shine on the altar for a minute? Just hold the stand and tip it.
Yeah.
Up, up, up.
How's that?
That's good. Okay. And there's a fireplace behind me with a inset stove, but it's not on today because it's warm.
You're looking a little short there. Okay.
Okay, so you got to see the altar. Remember, you saw the books all disappearing. Now you got to see that they're back.
Yes.
I don't know exactly where they are or what order. That's going to happen by and by. But I found them and I got them out of boxes. Next question.
Would you offer Nagpa vows to your students? And if so, how would I request them?
Nagpa vows are tantric vows. I've given teachings on those, but the ceremony, they're given during a wong. So no, you have to go to Garchen Rinpoche for that, or other lama giving a high-level wong of your choice. I'll explain them. I've done teachings to explain them. I think Dorit is now did that again. It's a sign up for it because you have to have them. And those are the tantric vows. That's what Nagpa vows are. It's not an ordination. It's a choice of practices. It's the inner commitment of understanding the four turning minds. That's why I keep sending you all back for that. Because your foundation needs work. There's a crack in it. That's why you find it difficult to sit down and practice. Well, unless you have children, and children is why, especially toddlers. But for a childless adult who can't get themselves to practice, they play video games or look at social media instead, it's because their foundation has a crack and they need to go back and do the four turning minds. That was what I talked about earlier, what it means to be fully human. Full human opportunities, which does not mean to be a Homo sapien, incidentally. Really, you gotta figure out impermanence. Why does it hurt life? Why? How? How karma works. I can't do that with my fingers. These four, you gotta grok them. Then your foundation will be strong enough for the house of Dharma to stand long and well. Next question.
Is Tai Chi compatible with your teachings?
Absolutely. It teaches what dynamic balance is. You may apply that then to Trutra Naljor. You may apply that then to the dynamic balance of yin and yang. It's an excellent adjunctive method to these teachings. Next question. So are martial arts if taught properly. Don't let the word martial freak you.
Let's see.
Martial arts are not about violence.
Can Dharma training be seen as a sort of induction to neurodivergence? It seems to me that the neurotypical mind is not interested nor apparently capable of the curiosity or sensibility that Dharma is based on.
I think you're missing something here. There is no neurotypical mind. There are certain categories that have been labeled of neuroeccentricity, such as ADD, autism, spectrum, etc. But there's more than that. No, what it is not the neurology. Go back to the four turning minds. What is it that makes one have a full human opportunity? Open-minded curiosity is one of the prerequisites for being fully human. Now, there's a lot of Homo sapiens that just don't have that. You see, if you've been mostly animal for a long time, and then you try human, it takes a few lives to get the hang of it. So, not all Homo sapiens have full human opportunity. Some of them are too busy grabbing what they want and chasing their desires and hoarding what they've got to really practice Dharma. Even some who think they are practitioners. Next question.
going back to the situation in America for a minute, one person asks, "What are good specific practices to do at this time?"
21 Taras, dawn and dusk, or dawn or dusk, as your lifestyle permits. Probably, I would say that is the most powerful of the ones that are easily accessible. Should. Oh, I gotta show you guys my costume for the party on the 22nd. Would you hand me that?
Where?
My costume, it's in the bedroom.
Okay.
The second shelf from the bottom, there's a bin that has a tray on top with medical containers.
Yes.
Yes, you looked right at it. Take the tray off, put it on the bed, and bring me the bin.
Well, you're going to either enlighten people
I'm
or
going to scare the shit out of everybody. Would you also bring me a pair of glasses that are up on a shelf on this side in a glasses case? Okay, guys, I'm going to freak you all out. I'm going to just step aside to do this.
This one?
That'll do.
Okay.
And these. Got it right? Have I got it right, guys?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hi, guys. I got a suit and a tie to go with it.
Well, got at least one laugh out loud from YouTube and a lot of emojis.
I've lost my glasses somewhere.
Oh, that's okay.
Stick this out of the way.
Yes, let me have it.
This is the, not Armageddon, what's it called?
Apocalypse?
Apocalypse ball. So we got to come to go with Apocalypse. So I figured that will do. I'm still working on it to get that mask more comfortable, because right now it isn't. I got to figure out which glasses I wear under it so it doesn't squish my eyelids. And it doesn't work with a hot top knot. I have to braid my hair under it down. But there you guys got a preview, since you're not all making it out here. Don't tell people. Be discreet. Like I'm a real discreet person, right? What was the question I was answering before I decided to scare everybody?
Specific practices in these times of turmoil for America. That looked like a good answer to me. I could be.
Yeah, I think I did answer it. We should have a group practice of 21 Tara up online.
There's another question about the 21 Taras. Are any of those practices good for healing lung disorders?
No, you're supposed to stop practicing. The only thing good for healing lung is proper Dzogchen, which is utter relaxation into the natural state. If you can't do that, try Guinness. Oh, and there's a southern dish down here that's really good. Stewed ham hocks with mac and cheese. That'll drop it. Making me think about lunch.
Uh-oh.
Next question. Poutine also works. Not the Russian president, the Canadian dish.
The one with French fries and gravy.
Cheese curd and gravy.
Okay, let me take a look here. once one has learned to rest in the view very stably, can you explain how this brings relative benefit to other beings?
Not in 3 dimensions. I'd have to take you into 4 to show you. Look, the essence of Guru Yoga. Your teacher is the symbol of all Buddhas of the 4th times. What that refers to is all Buddhas that ever were, all Buddhas that currently are on other planets throughout the entire universe, all Buddhas that will be in the future, past when the sun goes nova and becomes a dwarf, until the galaxies cease their dance. All Buddhas that arise in the fullness of the future times, all Buddhas that arose in the past, all Buddhas that are arising to infinity in other galaxies. Look at those photos that Hubble has sent back, how many there are. Surely they too have Buddhas. Buddha means thus gone, gone beyond. It does not specifically refer to Gautama. Gautama was the name of a man. In the fullness of all those times, the 3 times, we call it the 4th time, which is all 3 together. Now, all sentient beings of the 3 realms, the formless realm, without matter, the realm of form, where are the long-lived gods and other critters, those little fiery things that ride the ley lines between stars and eat sunlight, I would call those gods of form. So it doesn't just mean things in human Homo sapien shape. There's a lot of shapes out there. Sentient crystals, gods of form. It's a big universe, guys. It's bigger than you are capable of thinking. Your thoughts occur within the universe. The universe occurs within your mind. Simni, big mind, real mind, Tawa. Great Mother Ocean of Dharmakaya, whatever you want to call it George. It's big. Bigger than all the dance of galaxies. It does not come and go, therefore the birth of the universe and the fires at the end of the universe have no effect on it. So all sentient beings of the 3 realms, and the realm of desire, which is us and animals and ghosts and most demons and things around here, all those Buddhas, what do you think they're made of? They're made of all sentient beings of the 3 realms, for at some point, past, present, and future, within the pattern of the time-space continuum, every living being recognizes its own Buddhahood. You too are nothing less than a Buddha in the 4th time. So step with me beyond your little personality with all its stupid limits and its worries and its hopes and fears into the 4th time of natural Dzogchen. Relax. All beings, the culmination of Bodhisattva, Indra's net as a single infinite point. What was the question I was answering? Does anyone remember?
You may have wronged us a bit there. It's fallen out. Wait, I can find out.
Once one has learned to rest in the view very stably, can you explain how things go to benefit to beings?
I just did. Okay, yes, I answered the question. Just wanted to make sure there. You see, it's all interconnected. We call that Indra's net. There's some pretty drawings of it on the internet. Look it up. Nice images. Of course, it's multidimensional, so those images are not, they're like a cartoon of the real thing. But that is the interpenetrating interconnectedness of all life. There are no entities, you see. You aren't an entity, so sorry. You're a node. Constantly moving, changing, being affected by other entities, affecting other entities. This is the manifestation of karma seen from 4 dimensions. Create Gewa to offset the hatred and digpa that is spreading around right now. Hatred is based on fear. We now have a very frightened 4-year-old running the country, with a frightened 6-year-old helping him. And like all little kids, they will lash out. Duck. Next question. I shouldn't get political on here. Some people completely disagree with me in politics and are still Dharma practitioners, and that's okay. Some people think what's going on right now will benefit sentient beings. If that is your opinion, remember that just like my opinion, those are thoughts. So's mine. Nam thought. Thoughts stuck together in a story. Don't believe a word of it. Not yours or mine. Go look at Indra's net if you want to find reality. Because they're not in the stories we tell each other about the revolution and the government and what's going down right now. Those are thoughts. You want to relax with it all? Treat those thoughts like all thoughts. Go watch a movie. Think about the characters. Were they real? Now, you can play with thoughts like a video game. For some people from out here, playing video games, you put one up of the French Resistance, it's going to sound like fun and you're going to play it as a video game, but it's hard to remember you're playing once it gets intense. Take a moment, sit down, relax. Take your attention off those damn thoughts that are bothering you. Open it wide into the where, not the what. Next question.
I'm at the biggest crossroads of my life in family, love, and relationships. How can I know my destiny and what my heart truly wants?
Who cares what your heart truly wants? Those are Nam talk. They're feelings. That's chasing wants and running away from diswants. And destiny is bullshit. You don't have a destiny. I don't have a destiny. You have karma. You've missed the 4 turning minds. You've missed the understanding of how karma works. Your looking for, I think, true love. It's all just sentient beings, folks. Can't help you with that question. It's so far outside of any worldview I can actually easily step into and believe in. Take it to an advice columnist. Next question. Sorry, I'm a bad person to ask questions on romance. I've had one monogamous relationship in my life when I was 14, decided I didn't like it and never tried it again. I've had lots of relationships, just I've never done monogamy. I don't like monogamy. So you ask me about traditional monogamous romance, and it's like, I don't have any experience to tell you about this. Go talk to a priest or somebody. There, now next question.
I am attracted to a monk. Should I steer clear from provoking any further desire?
Yup. You know they say 8 years bad luck for breaking a mirror? Well, it's worse for breaking a monk. Don't do it. That bites. The shit I've seen go down when two people have crossed that, dead babies, impossible financial issues, homelessness. Don't do it. No man is worth that shit. Next question.
One of our Spanish viewers asks, what is the mind made of? Is the mind time?
No, time is within the mind. Go look again. I cannot answer that to you because there are no words in English or in Spanish to tell you what the mind is made of. It is not a substance. And that there is the best hint I can give you. Next question.
Oh, right. I am planning on attending an online refuge ceremony soon. I have not formally taken refuge before. How selective should I be when it comes to the Lama, the lineage, or the tradition of the ceremony?
Let's see, I took refuge in the Galupa tradition, mainly practiced Nyingma, and hold also a Kargyu Mahamudra line, and a lot of Wongs in Shakya. I'm Rime. If you will be Rime, it doesn't really matter that much. Do be selective of who gives it in that. You cannot badmouth that person afterwards. Regardless of what your Nam talk, discursive thoughts tell you that person is doing, you can't say anything bad about him to others. Like doctors. You know, they aren't allowed to say anything bad about other doctors. I asked about a cardiologist that my friend had seen once to another doctor, and they said, oh, I'm sure she's quite capable of reading an EKG, with some question about the EKG. And that's all she said. Now, that's how you put down a doctor when you're a doctor. With vast subtleness. You're going to have to keep to the same rules with whoever gives you refuge. So don't pick someone whose way of being, personality is going to offend you. Look, I has a personality. All lamas has a personality. And generally, they're relatively strong personalities because we are not, once you've done a lot of meditation, your personality no longer bothers you. However, I perfectly understand that it may bother others. If my personality bothers you, run away quickly. Go find a Lama whose personality works well with yours. Unless my teacher was what's that word, Nyando?
Uh,
Fundamentalist
that's
in Buddhism. And I am not a fundamentalist in anything. God, he used to drive me nuts with that. Damn good for me. Knocked all my belief systems out. So there are times when a vastly different personality from your own is useful. But be sure you are advanced enough to deal with that. Okay? And it's about an hour and a half now, which is usually about how long I do these. Let me take a couple last. Give me a couple questions. One last or next to last. Let's see what it is.
oh right. You've often said that we should practice Chenrezig until there are signs. Can you elaborate a bit on this?
Nope. You might have a vision. You might have a dream. All sorts of things can happen to be a sign. Signs are different for different people. Keep going if you're not sure you got a sign yet. They're pretty obvious. One more.
Okay. I'm looking for a specific one. Here we go. Aside from making sure all my practical needs are accounted for, any suggestions or advice for my first silent, solitary retreat?
Take walks. Keep to the standard retreat schedule of starting before dawn your first session and ending your last session after dark. After lunch is nap time. You will occasionally freak out. Those are thoughts. Don't pay them no, never mind. They'll pass. Keep going. Give me one more.
I'm practicing my lineage nundros. Can you explain the meaning of the prostration itself?
You gather up all your not Buddha-ness, your belief systems, your personality, your usual crap, and you lay it down. You lay down. You admit it. You lay down before the lineage tree, which symbolizes all Buddhas of the four times. And you stand up again as one of them, fully enlightened. And then your crap starts to readhere and re-swirl and re-stick to you. So you gather it all up, crap of body, crap of speech, crap of mind, and you lay it down. You offer it up. You are blessed. And you stand up again among all Buddhas of the fourth time. Do not rest lying down. When you're tired, as you will be, stand up and rest standing up. Or take a break, but do not lie there to rest when you're tired. And I think that's it for today. We got to do this again soon because I didn't get to anywhere near all of you. I'll schedule it with Jan, probably early next month. Ge Wandi Nyur Dudag Che Che Sala Ngopa Harshu. May all beings recognize their own true nature. If any of you out there wish to form a relationship and be a benefactor to one of our yogis out in India for the price of a pizza and beer, you can feed them for a month of retreat. Send me an email if you are interested, and I will give you more details. Do not stick that in an email of all your personal stuff, because I don't hold those personally. I have people who help me with them. So that's a separate email from the personal questions, which I don't share with anybody. Anything else I have forgotten to say?
Translators, we had Georgian.
Yes. Oh, we had the Georgian translation in Spanish today. Let me thank the translators myself and request that all of you, in the form of gifting, give your translators a little bit of cash, money sent. Give them something as a gift, because I can't afford to pay them. Would if I could. So it's all volunteer. And they got to eat too. So share with them, okay? If you are hearing this in a language other than English, you would not be hearing it in your own language if your translator wasn't kind enough to come and translate. And what else have I forgotten to say?
Yogis back in Slovenia?
Did.
Okay, so I can't think of anything.
Okay, then we're good, Nyando. Thank you.
Okay. One moment and I will push buttons. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, you are no longer live.
Thank you.